It's been Role Model Africa and the program just ended. Just want to find out your general impression of the program.
Thank you. For me, I've never been so convinced yet challenged that this is the right time for any African youth to make it on this continent. And so this program for me presents a challenge to many Africans that there are people that you can learn from, people that you can look up to. And so for me, this is going to traverse the continent and cause many more people to be successes on the continent. I'm very convinced that Africa will take its opportunity and grow from today and will succeed based on the young people who are learning from such initiatives like the Role Model Africa. So Role Model Africa for me is the best platform. It's going to be the platform for many young, experienced people to connect with the young people and create a platform where we can have more successes to these young generations.
Right, just the last question on this. We've been talking about integrity. What is your final message, from what you gathered from what Dr. Samuel shared with us on integrity?
For me, Dr. Wuna said it so clear and blunt that if we want to succeed in Africa as business people, as people committed to aid, etc., integrity is key. It starts from the home. It starts with you as a young person understanding that I need integrity to succeed. And so for me, it's a brilliant concept. I think it's about time that we all embrace that key principle in life. And we're going to have many more uncorruptible leaders in Africa. If we embrace integrity as a value, Africa will go a long way.
Thank you very much, John. Okay, Ifojo, we've had a wonderful time here at Role Model Africa, and we just ended the program. Your general impressions, please.
Thank you. I'm very blessed and imparted. I find tonight's session quite insightful. I'm quite thrilled at the level of wisdom and the experience and the principles that Dr. Onwuna speaks. You know, when you listen to people, you can tell those speaking from what they've learned and those who are speaking from what they practice, principles that they themselves have practiced and tried and tested over the years, and it's worked for them. And that is the impression that I get, that Dr. Onwuna himself is a man of integrity with a good track record, and he's shared with us, particularly myself, some of the principles that helped him. One of the very key principles I find quite interesting is he encouraging young Christians to get into politics, get into governance, to make a difference, because oftentimes we have left the issue of governance to other people, and Christians are shying away continuously, and it's like Christian participation in frontline politics is quite becoming extinct. And so his message and the call and the encouragement he's given to young Christians, I find particularly very useful. So I've learned a lot from him, and the experience has been great. The host has also been magnificent, quite wonderful. The organizers, everything has been on point, so thank you.
Thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you next year. All right. We've been having Role Model Africa, and the program just ended. Your general impressions about the program so far?
Well, it's been an excellent first program. Normally when you do a TV program, you have 30 minutes or an hour to interview people. Let's span beyond that, and then of course you have to insert all the commercials. So this is a really unique opportunity for young people to get so much out of people who have accomplished so much. And for me, it's a unique opportunity. It's been amazing. Some of the nuggets that came out of this have been really relevant for my life and for everybody else, I'm sure, who came here today. I'm looking forward to the subsequent editions.
Okay. All right, I have here with me Esinam, and we've been having a wonderful time at Role Model Africa, and I want to find out general impressions of the program so far. So Esinam, your general impressions.
I am really impressed by this output. I felt for the first time that we, the young people, were driven to what integrity should actually be, and the exercise of that particular, thing to be of good integrity and to exercise that particular habit. I feel this should go on, and I'm grateful that Samuel is going to continue this initiative, and we're going to hopefully bring more young people like us on board in order for us to push this initiative, because it is something that we need as the young generation.
My final question to any SNM goes in relation to what Dr. Samuel said about Christians going to politics. Usually we are discouraged from going to politics because we see it as a dirty game, but he encourages us to go into politics so that we can actually bring integrity into politics. So what is your opinion about that?
I am in full support of that, honestly. I have thought of that a couple of times, and myself, from the student front, I'm a student, and from the student front, I've been an active politician, student politician, let's just say. And I even intend going on the forefront to take one of the highest positions when it comes to student leadership. I know a lot of young people who are really involved in Christianity and are also taking up such huge positions. And I really encourage and endorse it. We are the people that are actually privy to those positions, if you ask me. And so I'd encourage every young person who is leadership driven and knows Christ that let's go for it, because it is our place. We need to make those changes. We need to initiate certain things that are not in existence and cause integrity to be paramount in our political endeavors.
All right, just a quick final, remark. What do you have to say to, those who could not make it for Role Model Africa 2015? For next year, what do you have to say to them?
No, trust me, we're going to have the next session in January. It's not too late. Don't be sad. Don't break out about it. I want you to grab the opportunity that is going to come next. It's going to be quarterly, and so just the fact that you are not part of the premier or premium edition does not mean you're going to lose out. There are more stuff in stock for you. I want you to buy into this initiative because it's going to be really good.
So thank you very much, Isinal.
Yeah, thank you so much. Role Model Africa, to me, it's been an awesome day. It's been a gathering of young people coming together to learn and to be able to understand the issues of integrity. I think the speaker did a fantastic job trying to dissect the issue of integrity. He spoke so well. He anchored the God factor. He anchored certain principles young people should stick to. And I believe, I have personally learned a lot, and I think that it has come at a time where we need to be encouraged as young people to believe in what we stand for, to believe in what we do, and to see that it's only God that can take us to the promised land.
All right, when it comes to doing business with integrity, a lot of people have problems with that. You want to register your company, you have to pay monies. You have to pay monies for, your registrations to go on very fast or very well. In such an environment where people do not actually understand or buy into this concept, how or what do you think, we can do to actually push this message of integrity across very well?
I think we can push this agenda very well if young people begin to come together and think the same way. So if you are asked to pay a bribe and you refuse to, and because of that your thing will delay, and you say, I want it to delay because I want to do the right thing, we'll be able to begin the step and be able to act what we have been able to listen to. I have met several people who are working on this integrity, and will let you know that they have had to go through a lot of frustrations because they refuse to not to do something that they think if they would have done, they would have had the process easier. So I believe that it starts from us. Somebody should begin it. And as soon as we are able to begin it from one angle, others will be able to buy the idea. And by the time we realize we've all as a country come to the point where we've built a lot of integrity in ourselves and we can stand for what we believe in.
All right, so this has been a maiden edition of Role Model Africa. What do you have to say to those who could not make it, for next year?
For me, I think you don't want to miss the second edition because it's been an awesome, it's a time that we look up to January 2016 where I will expect all young people from all across the life, from all over the regions coming together to be part of Role Model Africa Season 2. So you don't have to miss it.
Thank you very much, Albert. I have here with me Dr. William Ochefimpon, and he was MC for this program, or host for this program. And it was inspiring when he was probing Dr. Ongna for a lot of information. I'd like to find out from him his general impressions about the program and what's he has to say going on next year, Role Model Africa.
Well, thank you. I think that for me it has been an honor to have the singular duty to host this first session, because how a thing starts is almost a good predictor of how it's going to go. I think the feedback that we've received from those who have been here so far indicates that it's been a good engagement. We set out to do a corporate dialogue, but also capture a bit of coaching, a coaching discourse in it. And so as I sat in the chair, I looked at how I could extract lessons from his journey that would connect well with the theme that we chose in doing business with integrity. I think by and large that we were successful at that, and we had a good interaction. The event is over, but as you can see, people have hanged on It's almost an hour since we ended with a prayer, but people are still here interacting and networking. I believe that this is the way to rebuild Africa. It no longer should continue to be the continent that is a scar on the minds of the rest of the world. We should deliberately and creatively develop and write our own story beginning from now. And change, like I said, change happens in circles. It doesn't happen in crowds. So if we just have people, no matter how small, committed to change, it would change the world. Margaret Mead said, never doubt that a small group of committed people can change their world, can change their community. It's the only thing that ever has and the only thing that ever would. So if we're passionate, we're committed, we would change Africa's stories. I'm eternally optimistic about Africa's future. And that's why I do what I do beyond the consulting room to, as he says, the surgeon can work on the brain, but we need to work on the mind, and that's why I coach and teach leadership, because that's where transformation begins from. Everything rises and falls on leadership. So kudos to the Invent team for putting together Role Model Africa. I believe that the future for this project can only be brighter, and I hope to see some more exciting guests come in as role models to share their stories of change, of hope, of perseverance, to inspire the new set of emerging leaders onto positivity. Thank you very much.
All right. So this is a final one. Just to tell those who cannot make it for this year's edition, what would you say to them? I mean, coming next year for our next edition of Role Model Africa.
Well, I'll say that when you see the event notice, block the date on your calendar, mark it, highlight it, and by all means be here, because the conversations that will turn around your life are taking place right here.
Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless you too. I have here with me Terry Mante, and he has been part of our program Role Model Africa, and I'd like to find out his general impression about the program so far. So Terry, your general impressions.
Well, I think that first of all, let me commend the organizers for everything you've put together, for whatever you sacrificed to put this platform, to organize this forum and all of that. I'm particularly appreciative of how the whole thing was organized in an orderly manner. It is something, I mean, the program started on time and ended exactly on time, and it was orderly. There was a lot of professionalism in the way things are done. And it speaks to the issue of what you are trying to promote in Africa, being examples of the things you are talking about. And it's something that I'm particularly impressed with. But to the contents of the event itself, I think the role model you had, Dr. Samuel Onwuna, was very much on point. His insistence on integrity is something that I really personally felt as a challenge, something that I must aspire to live and to exhibit in my own life, because I realized that especially if you live in the environments where we live in the African environment, where there are so many challenges, so many pressures, so many difficult challenges we have to deal with, it's very easy for you to compromise your integrity just so that you can make do, you can go through life. But he has challenged all of us to think or to believe and to understand that really at the end of the day, it is your integrity that will preserve you. It is your integrity that will empower you to rise above your challenges and to make you a better person. So I think that the program is very useful and it's something that we must continue.
All right, so I think my final question, or let me say, just a view on this, or an advice to those who cannot make it for Role Model Africa 2015. Next year we are having it again, and I just want to tell those who couldn't make it why they should come for Role Model Africa 2016.
Well, I don't know what to say to them because they have to experience it to know what they missed. But I believe that for each one of us, if we want to really make it to the next level in our lives as Africans, if we want to make a statement in the world, we want to rewrite the African story, this is one of the platforms that we cannot ignore. We have to certainly take it seriously. So next time, if it comes up again, I have already booked January 24 on my calendar. I know that I have to be here on 24th January, and I am encouraging everyone out there who gets to hear about this to make it a point to be here, because it's a learning environment. It's a great platform for networking as well. You meet a lot of great people, and it helps build your social capital, and it inspires you to do what we are doing and to do it better to the global level.
Thank you very much, Terry. God bless you. I have here with me a guest speaker, and I'm excited to actually have this short time with him. I actually met him on University of Ghana campus doing his keynote address, and the message he gave has been with me till now. And to meet him here, it's with great joy and delight. Sir, you spoke about integrity, and I see that it's something that has been with you. You're really passionate about pushing this virtue among people. Paul said in Second Corinthians or First Corinthians that he has treated the people of God with godly sincerity and integrity, and obviously it's something that is needed for us to really move forward as Africans and as a church and wherever. So, what is your final word that you give to young men and women who are out there who want to move ahead the corporate ladder, wherever they want to go to, but want to do it in any other way? And what's your word for them?
Well, the temptation is always there to go on the route of the end justifies the means. But if you are a Christian, a serious Christian, you have to play by the rules of integrity. Integrity is wholesomeness. Integrity is God. God is integrity. So when you talk of a role model, you have to ask yourself, first of all, what role is that person playing? Secondly, what is the model after which that life has been placed, or what style is that life modeled after? As I mentioned in my dialogue with Invent, the drug baron is a role model to those who are in the drug business. The pimp is a role model to those who are sex workers. It's also not a poverty issue, as I mentioned. Otherwise, then you wouldn't have Enron happening. The people who did the Enron thing were rich people, wealthy people. You wouldn't have people at Wall Street play games with insider information. You wouldn't have very rich bankers playing with the price-setting phenomenon of the LIBOR. And then more recently, Volkswagen, a very excellent and powerful auto company, cheating with the emissions test. So this integrity issue is something that cuts across cultures. It cuts across all facets of life, rich, poor, young, old, black, white. It's a question of God. The fear of God is the underpinning principle of a man or woman of integrity. That is what society needs. That's what Africa needs. We need to build institutions that are led by men and women of integrity. That's where there is hope. Otherwise, as I said, when you build a society where you overemphasize smartness at the expense of integrity, you end up building a lot of smart thieves. And as Warren Buffett has warned, if you're looking for someone to run your company, you look for three qualities: excellence, integrity, and smartness. I think strength, energy, he said. And he said if they lack integrity, drop them like hotcake, they will kill your business. So this integrity issue is really the quality, the missing dimension. Ghana has very qualified, smart professionals in practically every sphere of our society. Engineering, in the economic sector, in the banking sector, in the health sector, we have very qualified doctors. In the judiciary, we have excellent judges, but ANAS has proved to us that integrity is lacking in some quarters of the judiciary. And that applies to practically every sector of economic endeavor. We have situations in the health sector where people steal drugs at the at the port and just set fire to the health depot to cover up the records. In the educational sector, you have some teachers colluding with students to sell papers and stuff like that. So integrity cuts across every fabric of society, That is what we need to build foundations on. It's that foundation that will never crumble. Otherwise, I told you, I used to watch Bill Cosby with my children when they were growing up in the U.S. For 40 years, we saw him as a role model. That was the number one African role model, father role model for the U.S. After 40 years, the whole thing has crumbled because he lacked immoral, sexual integrity. So integrity is something that we cannot play with. And we need to, as I said, grow people from the homestead. We say charity begins at home. Integrity must begin at home. When people come to look for daddy and daddy tells the child, tell him I'm not there, they are teaching the child how to lie. And no matter how smart the child grows up to be, he's going to maintain that lie. So integrity is something we need to build corporately. We need to work together, government, private sector, family, teachers. It's something that must sit in the very fabric of our society if we want to see a new Ghana. Otherwise, this generation has failed.
All right. You heard it all from our guest speaker. I think I'll just take his advice to invent as a young group that is coming up and want to impart our generation. I mean, and for those who cannot make it for Role Model Africa 2015, I mean, come next year, we'll also be having another role model of integrity, a man of integrity, I believe, to speak to us. I mean, what do you have for Invent as a group coming up?
I'm very impressed with what you're doing. As I mentioned to you, God is doing something new. This generation has failed. This society has failed the youth. And so God is raising up a new generation of committed, dedicated, God-fearing young men and women. That doesn't mean that the whole society is rotten. There are very committed men and women of God in the land. Even Anna's video showed that there were a few judges who were straightforward and wouldn't take any nonsense. But you have taken the mantle to do what is right. This flag that you've raised for the youth is excellent. You're going to get the support you need. God's hand is in it because it is a genuine cause. As I said, when somebody stands up as a role model, asks, what are they looking for? What are they trying to project? You are here trying to promote a new image for Africa, an image that will turn things around. For now, it is synonymous. You heard what someone said about Tony Blair, that what is a scar? No, it is not a scar. We've had bad leadership. And even with the bad leadership, there are matured men and women in the land. You know, a person of integrity does not push to get their way across by pulling others down. So they are in the land. If the society is looking for them, they will find them. They are gems. And you know, gems don't come out very easily. If you need gold, you dig deep into the earth. If you're looking for sand, you go to the shore, you can get tons of sand. The people of integrity are like the gold gems in the society. If society is seriously interested, they will find them.
So, I mean, we've been talking to Dr. Samuel, now our guest speaker, and we are so grateful to have you around. We look forward to meeting you sometime to come. God bless you so much, sir.
God bless you.